Everybody, hope you're having a great evening. We are on Passing the Positive number 3. And today I've got Brandon Pipkin with me. So kind of give you guys a little insight on why that's a big deal to me is Brandon has been a huge just person in my life for the last probably 6-7 years. Got to know him through church a little bit and then just kind of became friends, and he's been amazing with me and my family, and I love this guy. And this guy has got a huge story behind him. He's done great things, and this is going to be great for you guys to hear Brandon's message. So with that being said, Brandon, I told him a little bit. Nice. Tell him a little bit more about you so everyone can know who you are.
It's very nice. See, the thing about getting on the camera with Josh is he's really the one that's got the charisma. He's the one that everybody loves. Great guy, very genuine, very humble, down to earth, and a guy that people can connect with.
I appreciate it, man.
He's real and he's good, and he's a great dad, very hard worker. So that's why I think he attracts good people into his life.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate it a lot. So, who are you? Let us know who you are.
I'm a dad. That's the most important thing about me.
No, absolutely.
I got 5 beautiful babies. Ashley's 21, Jacob is 16, Derek is 13, Jaden's 11, and Josh is 8. It's true.
That's a great last name. But yes.
Yeah, right?
Right.
Named him right.
There you go. So tell us, outside the dad thing, tell us a little bit about what you do. And
So I don't even know how to market myself. I make my money right now mostly through sales training. I'm a professional sales trainer, and I love it.
Yeah.
Because I get to connect with people and teach them skills that make a difference, communication skills, being interested. I tell people, don't be the world's most interesting man or woman. Be the world's most interested man or woman.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Stay curious, my friends. Ask questions.
Yeah.
So sales training, but a passion of mine and some other things that I do. I interview successful people and I tell their stories because I want you, the listener, to have the truth about how ordinary people succeed. So I interview Olympians, cancer survivors, millionaires, entrepreneurs, recovering addicts.
Wow,
and
that's awesome.
I tell their stories so that you can benefit from it.
Yeah, so obviously he brings a lot today, which is going to be awesome. So with that said, what is it how do you stay motivated, man? How do you stay, engaged in those types of things? What is it that gets you going?
It's a great question. I wake up, really. I wake up and not every day feels the same, and there are some days that I don't feel like I'm doing the right things in life. But when I wake up, I sense a duty, an obligation almost, I guess, to get the truth out there into people's hands so that they can be the best versions of themselves. That motivates me more than anything. Is I want people to be the best version of themselves possible. So if I can do anything to help with that, that's what naturally gets me going.
That's awesome, man. The thing that I really get from that is you're so focused on other people. You by default become better because you're helping other people become better. You get to hear all these great stories and bring them to everybody like us, which is huge, man. That is, and we appreciate that. Just so you know, I think that's awesome.
Thank you.
So when you started getting to a point in your life where you started kind of feeling the success and seeing that, what were things that you did? Was there daily, weekly, monthly routines that you kind of either put in place or helped you balance your life? What were those things?
So when I interviewed a guy, one of the millionaires I interviewed for my book, his response was, "I don't feel like I'm all that successful." You're leading a multi-million-dollar company. You clear well over what the normal person clears every year. You're a successful dad, husband, etc. He said, "I don't," and most of them actually answered that way. They said, "I don't know where the finish line is, or I don't feel like I have that perspective." And these were multi-millionaires who said, "I don't feel very successful." And I certainly don't. Financially, I'm not a multimillionaire, and when it comes to being a dad, sometimes I think you're probably one of the worst on the planet, dude. You don't give them enough time and focus. But some of my habits, some of the things that I do, first thing in the morning, connect with scriptural materials and get grounded spiritually.
Yep.
Try to connect with people that make a difference in my life and matter to me. So that's pretty important to me, is to do that. And then a lot of it is make it up as I go, which is one of the key lessons I learned from the millionaires, actually. I asked them about their plans, their goals. 3 of them had written down goals.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how many did you interview?
23. I used 21 for the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So out of 23, 20 had written down goals?
No. Out of 23, 3 of them had written down goals
Wow.
that they operated off of.
That's huge.
Which is quite contrary to what we hear.
Right.
That success is all about a goal not written down is only a dream and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot from them that it's okay to make it up as you go. And Vicky Tillapa was such an important person in my life, and she taught me to do the one thing that is needful. There's only one thing we can be doing at a time. So she said, do the one thing that is needful.
That's huge. Remember that. The one thing that is needful. So, no, I think that's awesome, man. Tell me about maybe a pivotal moment in your life that maybe shaped things or got you going in the right direction.
I've had several of those. First of all, my nose is so big. Do you think it's fitting in the screen here?
Hey, you're good. I see it in there. You're good. Yeah, we're good.
Right,
I can see the rest of your face. That's
when
good.
I turn to the side, I'm worried that it goes up. Several pivotal moments. One was I served a volunteer church mission in Switzerland and Germany,
Wow.
and that shaped me incredibly.
Yeah.
2 years of serving other people and focused on them, their well-being.
Right.
It shaped me like crazy. And then early marriage years, early 20s, figuring out that, man, you got some stuff to work on in life was really pivotal for me as well.
Yeah.
Going through a divorce was huge. Yeah, I tell people it's the worst experience I would never trade for
Right.
who I became and how I grew and how I got to develop and see where I was and where I needed to be.
Kind of found Brad in there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool,
That was
man.
pivotal.
That's cool. Yeah. You talked a little bit about it earlier, but one particular person.
Yeah.
But can you name, a person that had just made a huge impact on your life? Who they were, kind of what was that impact, and how did it help you grow?
Steve Rockwood always comes to mind. Steve was an adult leader at church, and I grew up without a father in the home, and he pulled me close and made sure that I had what I needed and made sure that I knew that I was loved and appreciated and cared for.
Yeah.
And he was always there, and I don't think he devoted a whole lot of time to it, actually. I'm sure it was. I don't mean to minimize it, but I don't mean he wasn't calling me every day. He didn't need to be there every day to make such an impact in my life, because I knew every time I connected with him, he cared.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, so Steve definitely one, and then Vicky Tillapa taught me things like be kind, honest, and reasonable no matter what. Seek wisdom in your life.
Yeah.
Seek the one thing that is needful. It's taught me so much about emotional wholeness.
Yeah, I that's probably the first time I've ever heard that is, the one thing that is needful.
Yeah.
And that is definitely something I can implement in my life. That's cool. That's a great thing that I think all of us can get out of that. So that's awesome, man. What is one good practice that you consistently do that you think everyone else could get something out of?
It's such a red herring question, because I think all of us are individuals. And that was a huge lesson as well, interviewing the 21 millionaires. Their paths were very divergent.
Yeah.
They didn't follow this cookie cutter approach, which blasted my whole concept of what I was going to talk about in the book. It's so disappointing. And yet not, of course, because I got so much more than I bargained for. So it's really hard to tell other people this is the one thing you should do. And that's one of my frustrations with LinkedIn right now. Every article is the 3 words you should never say, the 6 things you absolutely need to do, the 13 habits of ultra highly effective people that you need to adopt. I don't buy into it. I think you've got to figure out for yourself. I think everybody's their own success expert. I think it's so smart to get information like you're presenting and providing, the motivation, the encouragement, interviews with people who can hopefully add some value to their life and things like that. And if people get that into their lives, that can help them craft and chart their own course. So I guess the one practice is listen to your gut.
Yeah.
If there's one thing, it's try to get in touch with what your gut is telling you to do, because you were placed here. Here's what I know for sure. You were placed on this earth with unique gifts, talents, and abilities, and the world needs you to bring those to bear to bless the rest of us. So the one practice, if I were to offer anything, would be get in touch with your gut and what you're supposed to be doing and what is your unique contribution to the world, and then offer it. And it doesn't matter if it brings you financial success. It doesn't matter if it brings you what you think it should. I loved what Gavin said in your first interview. He said, I know if I put in the effort, I'll reap the reward.
Yeah.
And we sometimes don't know what the reward is.
Right. But that's why you put in the effort, right? Because you just put it in there with faith that it's going to come at the end and it'll give you some kind of good reward. So,
that's right.
And I can't thank you enough. I think that some of the insights and some of the message you gave today are different than what a lot of people hear, right? Because like you mentioned on the LinkedIn stuff, a lot of stuff that we hear is kind of common theme of, hey, these are the words you don't want to say, or that type of stuff. So it's so refreshing to hear something different, right? Something different that we can implement in our lives, because not everything works the same for everybody, kind of like you mentioned at the end. You got to find what's best for you, and that's what you're going to grow with, and that's what you're going to bring your impact to the world with. So
That's right.
you're the man. Thank you so much.
You are so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You guys, passing the positive. Keep it going. Keep passing the positive every single day. Plug in every Wednesday morning for the next video, and we'll keep this going for as long as we can. And I just appreciate you guys all. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, talk to you. Still going.